Hello everybody, TD Junk here, back with a brand new video on the channel. And in today's video, I will be going over what could potentially happen if Ali was voted out in episode 7 of Disventure Camp All Stars. Now before this video starts, as always, a few disclaimers. One, all the back and forth shown in this video is not owned by me, but it's owned by Undercut Cartoons, the creators of Disventure Camp. And it is that being said, onto the video. Alright, so first off, how would Ali even get out in episode 7? Well, there's like two ways for this to happen. One, Fiore is most likely able to fully convince Jake that Ashley is finna betray him with Ali, so he ends up voting Ali and actually tries to convince Ashley. Or two, make it so that Jake and Ali actually start their beef a little bit earlier, meaning that Jake is more likely to vote with Fiore and it's actually more hard line on having Ashley vote with him. Also, I feel like Jake's reasoning could also be that Tess and Ali are friends, so they could be a threat at merge or something. Anyway, so that being said, moving on to episode 8. Starting off with the immediate changes of this episode is that the first scene with Ali and Jake doesn't happen. We probably get a scene instead of Ashley and Jake bonding or something like that. For the challenge part of the episode, because Ali isn't here, Jake isn't as runny and they doesn't really have any beat this episode, meaning that they would probably do pretty good considering that Ali wouldn't be here to instigate and break the talent. But on the other hand, Ali would be there to give the advice of where they should search for, meaning that Magenta will probably be very slow in the challenge. That's probably balance a little bit more with Gabby because he's sad that Ali's gone, and the rest of the challenge basically plays out the same and the sign team loses. Because of this, Ali gets out like in canon. Anyways, moving on to episode 9. Episode 9 probably opens up with Ashley and Jake and maybe Fiore having some argument of some time, and the same conversation happens with the teal team in the beginning of the episode as Gabby is probably pissed that Ali is out. And the same fiasco on the yellow team between Grant and Yule plays out the same as in canon. Onto the challenge, I think that the magenta and yellow team most likely lose here because Fiore will probably end up doing really bad in the challenge, causing the magenta team to fall behind. I mean, the cyan team would probably be able to pull through and win. Now, for who's seeing out with this episode is absolutely Ashley, as the fans obviously won't vote Fiore, as they would want to keep Jake because he's easy to manipulate, as Ashley is kind of the main one holding the magenta team together. Anyways, moving on to episode 10. Also, Future Drunk here, I forgot to include this in the script, but the same conversation between Jake and Ashley probably happens, but just a little bit different in canon where Jake is like at the bus stop with Ashley. The episode probably opens up with Jake being pissed that Ashley's gone and beef with Fiore a little bit. Tess probably tries to resolve her beef with Gabby, which probably fails again, and the merge still ends up happening this episode. And for the challenge, the groups are probably something like this. Tom, Tess, and Aiden go together, and I assume that Jake most likely goes with them. Gabby probably goes solo because she doesn't really want to be with them, and the villains aren't working with her yet. So yeah, and the villains will also all just go together. Now, Aiden and Jake probably don't beef as much as this episode, as they might still have a squabble or something, but it wouldn't be as big as it would be in that actual episode. Who wins the challenge is probably Tom or Alec, but more so leaning on Tom, as Alec's plan of blindsiding the hero probably wouldn't work, meaning that Tom would be able to knock him out in the challenge. For the vote here is kinda iffy. Tess, Jake, Aiden, and Tom would all vote together and they would probably go for Rhea like in canon. The villains would probably go for Tess for the same reasons they would vote for Ashley, as she's the most logical of the hero remaining. For who Gabby's vote, she would probably vote Tess, but she wouldn't flip to the heroes per se. She would just vote Tess because she was angry at her. So yeah, Tess will get out here. Anyways, moving on to episode 11. Opening scene will probably open up with Fiore, Rhea, and Alex strategizing, and you'll being a jerk to Grant. Now, I'm assuming Gabby will get involved with her helping Grant out a little bit here, a little bit earlier in this timeline. The remaining heroes are probably really sad, freaking out because they're heavily outnumbered. For the comebacks, I think Connor probably still returns here, as there will be nobody else who would really have a reason to come back compared to him, and the episode will pretty much just play out the same in the canon. Anyways, moving on to episode 12. The opening scene probably plays out similar to the opening scene with Grant, Yule, and Gabby in episode 13, with Gabby helping Grant, and it probably plays out the same. You also probably get a little bit more of Aiden and Jake working together, most likely, and more of Alec and Fury like scheming again. Moving on to the challenge, it probably plays out a little bit differently. Rhea doesn't give Ali the flag because Ali's not here. I mean, Rhea would probably end up just giving the flag to Alec. During the challenge, Yul and Gabby and Gret probably meet together, and Yul demands Gabby the flag, causing Gabby to get mad. And then in the situation, Gret probably backs Gabby, causing Yul to get really rude and pissy, and eventually leads to them falling out. For the vote, Gret, Gabby, and the rest of the heroes would probably end up voting Yul, and Rhea, Alec, and Fury would probably try and go for Tom, but obviously it wouldn't work, meaning that Yul would get out this episode. Anyways, moving on to episode 13. This episode probably still opens up with the same scene with Rhea and Alec, and Aiden still stoops on them, and we probably also get the same scene with Gret and Gabby vibing in episode 13 at the start, and we most likely get more Tom and Jake. I feel like Tom will probably try to talk to Aiden and tell him that he actually likes Jake and wants them to get like back together again, and more of them just hanging out. For the challenge, there would have to be like 2 new powers added for Tom and Fury. It was stated on Twitter that Tom's voice actor thought Tom's superpower would probably be Spider-Man, and I'm guessing from like a reading that showed Fury's superpower outfit, she would probably have electricity as her superpower. For the challenge, Aiden and Jake and Tom probably take down Rhea for the first half, and Carter ends up going solo against Gret and Gabby, and Alec and Fury probably just end up going together. Gret and Gabby easily defeat Connor, and most likely, Jake and Tom and Aiden probably end up having to go against Fury, Alec, and Rhea. I assume Rhea still loses here for like the rest of the challenge. Tom most likely gets out here somehow, and Alec gets A-Train like he actually did in the episode, but Fury probably ends up escaping. Meaning the last 5 for the challenge is Jake, Aiden, Gret, Gabby, and Fury. For who wins here, it is probably Gret and Gabby, considering that the only reason they really lost was because Gret was too distracted by Yul, and since he's not here, they were probably able to defeat Ned in this timeline. For the vote, it's probably Carter gets voted out here. Now, realistically, in the show's logic, will this happen? No, but since Yul isn't here, the villains would definitely lock in all their votes on him so he doesn't find out about Alec kissing Rhea. So yeah, Connor ends up getting out here. Anyways, moving on to episode 14. Alright, so for episode 14, quick disclaimer, the episode shows would absolutely have to be different just for obvious reasons, but I think it would still end up probably being a purge challenge. Now, for what the challenge could be, I don't really know, to be honest. I guess it would pretty much just be similar to the cave challenge in episode 20, as the best challenge that kind of suits a purge scenario. Also, this would still be in groups, and whoever had the least gems between the two would be eliminated if they made it last. The duos for the challenge would be random just to make it more interesting, but some of them will still be the same, and the duos would probably be Gabby and Gret, Rhea and Aiden, Alec and Tom, and Fury and Jake. For the challenge, I presume it goes decent. Rhea and Aiden are probably the ones who make it first, followed by Alec and Tom. And for the bottom two, I feel like it would be Jake and Fury, purely because Fury would end up slowing them down, and obviously she would have the least gems. Fury gets out here. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here since the rest of this elimination order would probably just play out with the heroes being eliminated one by one, and the villains would ultimately just be end up dominating the game. Rhea would probably still end up winning in canon, and majority of the season would probably play out the same. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss another video from me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry for taking so long to even drop this video in the first place. I got really busy, meaning that I didn't really have that much time to make this video. Anyway, see y'all next time. Peace.